Hi, everyone. Welcome to DevRunner. My name is Paul. I'm an endurance runner and an RRCA certified running coach. And this is Subscriber Spotlight, where I have conversations with inspiring runners to motivate you on your running journey. My guest today is a weight loss and fitness vlogger, a runner, and a powerhouse of positivity and enthusiasm from Calgary, Alberta. Her journey toward better health is documented on her awesome YouTube channel, and we're both members of the Fitness Friends live stream team. So it's my pleasure to welcome the one and only Daniella Joy to the show. Daniella, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to be on.
I appreciate it. You know, it's one of those things where ever since I discovered your channel and ever since I've had the pleasure of sort of working with you in the context of Fitness Friends, you've been such a positive force in my life. You've turned entire days, entire weeks around for me with your positivity and your great advice. So to have you here is really, seriously, it's my pleasure. So thank you.
Oh, that means so much. Like, I just really want to help inspire people wherever I can, just show people a different way of thinking that, you know, sometimes we just get trapped in that negative mind, which I've recently been trapped in, but you know, tomorrow's always a new day and it's always a great time to start.
Exactly. So talking about getting started here, I'm hoping that you can share maybe a short bio, who you are, where you're from, anything that you want people to know about you, like right from the start.
Sure. So my name is Daniella Joy, and I am originally from Toronto, Ontario. I was born and raised there, and I moved to Calgary about 2 years ago, and that has been quite the adventure. I absolutely love Western Canada. It was my first time in Calgary. The first time I got here was the first time I moved here. And this city just has inspired me so much to just be outdoors and to run. There are runners everywhere here, mountain bikers, everything. We've got so much green space here. So why would you not want to start running in Calgary? Back when I was in Toronto, I used to run quite a bit. I enjoy it. So the history with me in running, when I was younger, I did track and field. I was very fast. I'm more of a sprinter. I've got those, you know, fast twitch muscle fibers. But as I got older, I kind of turned into doing endurance running. In my early 20s, I used to run from the west end of Toronto to downtown Toronto. And there are a lot of hills. I actually enjoy running hills. I love running hills. And yeah, that was in my early 20s. My mid 20s, I ended up having my son. It was a very difficult pregnancy, very difficult situation where I got an injury, which caused me a lot of issues in my lower back, hips, and legs. And the only remedy to that was really working out, exercising, diet, and losing weight. Because after I had my son, I didn't gain a lot of weight post-pregnancy, but a year after I gave birth to him, I put on a lot of weight because I was just so stressed out. I was in pain. I was just, doctors didn't know what was wrong with me. And they thought it was a slip disc in my back, but it turned out it was a pelvic floor injury with iliopsoas deep core transverse abdominis injury. So that's pretty much, if your core isn't stabilized, your whole body just deteriorates. So core work is so important. Yeah, that injury has taught me so much. So yeah, right now I do a lot of strength training. I was getting back into running, but unfortunately I had a setback a few months ago. I got into a car accident. Yeah. So now I'm dealing with a concussion, which is a whole different beast. Like, the brain is so important, and we're just learning so much about concussions and how it really like impacts the body. Like, I realized, like, I didn't really understand. I remember when Sidney Crosby was like sidelined for nearly 2 years because of concussion. Now that I have a concussion from a car accident, I understand. It destroys your autonomic system. Your heart doesn't know what it's doing. Your blood pressure can be really low or really high, and physical activity tends to worsen it. Wow. But, you know, I'm about 3 months in, but I'm ready to get back. I did a workout today. I'm feeling a bit dizzy, but like, I'm just so motivated to move forward. I've gone through, you know, injuries before, and all you got to do is just tell yourself, hey, you know, this is just a season in life. You have to not let the negative be who you are. You can't identify with the negative. You have to pretty much be ignorant to anything that's negative and just keep Yeah, you got to focus on the positives. You got to focus on what you can do. And today I did a workout and I'm proud.
Good for you. Good for you. I'm so happy
Yeah.
that you're on your way back, that you're that same fighting attitude that I've always loved about you is still there. And you know, it may take time, Daniela, and I know there's a lot of frustration along the way, but I think it's wonderful that you're out there setting that example for people who have a tough road ahead. So with that said, I would like to kind of do a little of a rewind and maybe dig a little bit deeper into some of what you just said, because I would love to hear a little bit more detail on your athletic background. Like I know you said you used to be a sprinter, you know, earlier in life. I'd love to hear more about that. And was it something where, you know, even what got you started being interested in sprinting? Did you have any like athletic background before that? And beyond sprinting, did it ever occur to you earlier in life that you'd eventually want to become more of a distance runner?
So with my story with sprinting, first off, I never saw myself as a distance runner. No way in heck. I always was just 100 meters, 200 meters, and I'm just like, how do these people do it? But early in life, you know, I got into track and field at a young age. I was 8 or 9. I was on the track team every year up until all throughout high school. And not only track, I'm very athletic. I played volleyball. Volleyball was one of my sports. Softball. What else did I do? Volleyball, softball mainly. Those were the two in track and field. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I don't think so. So yeah, I've always been an athletic type of person. Just running and being active, it's in my nature. If you saw me as a little girl, I was always running around. I was always jumping around. I remember when I was a kid, I had a surgery. I just had a hernia. So like, you know what a hernia is. And I was 6 years old. And after I had my surgery, I was literally jumping around on monkey bars, climbing things, and everyone had to settle me down. Yeah. Because like, hey, you're healing. I'm like, I don't care. Like, so I guess this was in my nature. Like, just with all the injuries I'm dealing with now, it's like, I don't care. I'm just going to do what I can or do what I feel like. Like that adrenaline takes over. So I've just always been an active individual. So as high school, you know, left and I moved on to post-secondary studies at university, I started getting into weightlifting. And that's when I got introduced to the treadmill. So I just started running on the treadmill. And I was like, okay, this is boring. Let's start running outside. So I just, you know, I started off slowly. I'm like, okay, let's just run nonstop for 20 minutes. And I just did that. Okay. And then I incrementally worked my way, and I was running. Like what I would usually do back in the day is that I would run for an hour, time that run to see how many miles I would get in. And then after I do that fast run, I would be way on the other end of the city. So I would like slowly, leisurely jog my way back home without, you know, timing myself. So yeah, that's how I used to do it. I used to do the sprint first, and then I would slowly make my way back home. So yeah, I just
naturally kind of built in your warm down into the run, just naturally. Yes. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just figured out that's how to do it. I didn't get any help from anyone back then. I just kind of did it. So yeah, I was doing all of that, and I fell in love with running. I was running consistently. It helped me get into tremendous shape back then. It feels great. Like I always say, nothing beats the feeling of a post-run feeling. That post-run endorphin high is beautiful. Yeah. Like there's nothing like it. I absolutely love it. There's no pain. Like when you finish weightlifting, you're in pain, you're in agony. But with running, oh, it's just, you feel so good. I absolutely love it.
Oh, you don't have to sell me. You're preaching to the choir right now. Yeah. That's so cool. So just to skip ahead a little bit, Daniela, you mentioned briefly when you were introducing yourself that after your pregnancy,
yes,
you were having issues with your pelvic floor, and it kind of threw you off your game a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So I'm hoping that you can talk a little bit about how you reacted to that. Like when things were at their worst, what sort of turned things around for you? What made you decide that no, this is not my future. I'm gonna get back in shape and I'm gonna. Well, I'm not even gonna ask the second part of that question yet. I'm gonna save that. but go after that. What changed your mind and made you decide that you were gonna get back in shape?
Sure. So after 3 years of being in chronic pain, well, I actually attempted to get back into working out 6 months after having my child, but
Okay.
then I got this like sharp pain in my back. And that's when the journey started because everyone was like, oh, it'll heal up after, after a while. And it never did. So I just stopped working out until I figured it out, but no one was figuring it out. CAT scan, MRIs, blood tests, everything came back normal.
Yeah.
And eventually, after 3 years of being in excruciating pain, I just gave up on everything. I had to be hospitalized for depression and anxiety, and of course, chronic pain. I was just destroyed. Like living with that tremendous amount of pain, it's unbearable. Like back pain is the worst pain anyone can go through. It's really, really tough. Back pain that radiates down your legs and your hips. It radiated like sciatic pain. So I told myself, is enough is enough. I'm going to find answers. I'm going to find someone that can help me. I'm not going to give up until I do. I made that promise to myself. And once I did, everything just kind of fell onto my lap. Like I saw my doctor again. She knew I've been complaining about this back pain for years. So she's like, oh, let me, refer you to a physiatrist, which is a sports medicine doctor. And that sports medicine doctor did her thing. And then she's like, okay, I recommend pelvic floor physiotherapy, acupuncture, and osteopathy. Did that, met a pelvic floor physiotherapist back in Toronto who literally changed my life. She just performed pelvic floor physiotherapy, releasing the muscles because the muscles were very tight on the hips and all through there. And then after that, she did acupuncture, which relieved my pain because I was on a plethora of pain meds that did nothing. Yeah. And that started relieving my pain. And then she gave me some exercises. And then slowly through there, I started working out. I downloaded Beachbody on demand. I used their workouts. And that's what made me fall in love with strength training and home workouts. This is way back in 2017 or 18, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, and I started working out from home then, and I haven't stopped. And just to see the weight come off, like I just started getting motivated. I always started off with exercise. Once I got that exercise under control, I did that common sense diet, which is just including more vegetables, getting rid of the refined carbohydrates, eating all of the healthy stuff. And the weight came off. And as the weight came off, my confidence grew. And my confidence did not grow because of the weight coming off. It grew because I was able to overcome this barrier I thought I would never overcome. I thought it was a life sentence. And when you prove to yourself that you can do things you thought you couldn't do, you just become a magical force. You become a powerful force of nature. And through that journey, I started documenting online and sharing with other people. And, here I am with this YouTube community and meeting you and everyone else.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I'm going to dig into that a little bit with you through the next set of questions. But I'm hoping like once you got started down that road, once you started working out, do you have like a set of like milestones maybe that you can, share that you consider the highlights of getting from there to here?
Sure. Well, I couldn't do the workouts in the beginning. They were about 30-minute workouts, but they were hard. They were things like plyometrics, push-ups, lunge jumping. I would always have to pause the video probably every 2 minutes. Yeah. So when I started noticing that I was pausing less and less, and I was able to do push-ups, and I was able to do these lunge jumps for longer and longer, that is the milestone. I was like, hey, cool, I'm getting stronger. And you see yourself growing. And it just all clicked in. And it was just a wonderful thing. It's just awesome just seeing yourself progress. And I documented my journey too. Just, getting that physical stamina and getting stronger. Like I was never able to do push-ups or lunge jumps or do all the crazy stuff I do now. So it's pretty rewarding.
Oh, absolutely. And I, for yourself, of course, but I'm going to ask you about YouTube in a little bit, but I just love the fact that you share your journey and you do it so honestly. We get to see the ups and the downs, and that's what everybody really wants. Like if you just try to sell it as positivity at all costs, and there's no room for the negative side, that just doesn't roll with people because everybody knows that's not the way life goes. So, your honesty about all this stuff and your deep insight too, those are the things that make me a big fan of you because,
thank you.
but yeah, just to roll with this whole subject matter, I kind of, just to bring it a little bit back more into sort of like, since this is a running channel,
Yeah.
how did you start to fit running into your training, or into your whole healthy future pursuit? You know, like.
So I don't know. I was doing a lot of strength training, and as I got more and more active and more physical, I'm like, I miss running. Let's get running back, because running has always been my identity. I love running, you know, whether it be sprinting, long distance. And then I just did the same thing I did back in the day. Start off with the 20 minutes, and it spiraled from there. I've always wanted in my life to complete like a 5K, 10K, and eventually a marathon. Tell you the truth, I want to complete a triathlon, but that's a different beast.
That's
but
awesome.
I've always been interested in pushing myself. And I know people tend to peak in those long distance sports in their late 30s, early 40s. So I'm just like, maybe I can set myself up, because I'm in my early 30s right now. Yeah. So it's always been a goal of mine, and it's still a goal of mine. So that's how I introduce it. And running's just so good for you. It also helps you recover. It's a great recovery workout for anyone who weightlifts. And if you're a runner, weightlifting is great for running because it strengthens you. They both complement each other. So
it's amazing. You just beat me to the punch, because I was just about to ask you, as somebody who is so into strength training, and cross training is just like anything that helps you with your main, whatever your main physical activity is going to be. But yes, I love the fact, like you just finished saying, the fact that you talked about running as a great sort of complement to strength training. Yes. is exactly the opposite of the way so many runners talk about running. Like, most people are like, I run and I strength train in order to be a better runner. I love the fact that you're hitting it from the other side. So yes. I want you to talk about, because, you know, there are so many people who watch these interviews that I do with other runners, and unfortunately, as a coach, I can speak to this firsthand. It is sometimes a very, very hard sell to make people who want to run understand the importance of strength training. So I want to get your take. Like, why is strength training so important if you want to run?
Sure. Running is one of the most brutal things you can do to your body. Yes, the human body was designed to run, but we weren't created perfectly, with knee problems, hip problems, groin problems, all of that. So when it comes to strength training, it helps preserve those joints. Like, if you're constantly running, you're putting pressure on your ankle. A lot of runners get, you know, the Achilles heel thing, or, you know, knee problems and whatnot. What helps prevent that is strength training. Strength training doesn't necessarily make you a better runner. It just helps you preserve running for longer. You have to be able to protect those joints and those tendons. Like, running is brutal on the body, but it's so good. Like, I'm not saying not to run, but it does do a lot of damage. It does. So in order to minimize that damage, get stronger muscles, get stronger core, you know, upper body. But that core and those legs are so, like, the core is so important. So important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm right there with you. And it's so nice to hear it from somebody else who knows, from firsthand experience.
Yes, with my injury. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, for all of you out there who are watching this right now you're not just hearing it from me. Daniella, who knows this stuff inside out, is telling you, start strength training. You don't have to be benching 500 pounds. We're not telling you to do that. It's a slow build, just like running is. You start slow and you start low. Next thing you know, you'll start to notice that your running injuries happen less and less often.
Yes.
All right, Daniella. So as somebody who's on the road back from injury, from all the catastrophic stuff that you've had to overcome, I'm wondering what motivates you now and what your future goals are.
Oh, what motivates me now? The community I met online, really. Like, I've had messages from people being like, we miss you. Like, I respect you so much for taking time to, you know, figure yourself out, focus on your mental health. Because when you get a concussion, And if you struggle with mental health, it makes it worse. But I am happy to say that I am so fortunate. Like, the mental health system here in Alberta is so good compared to Ontario when it comes to adults. Very good. So I'm getting the help I need to work through it. But what motivates me now is, the community and just myself, just that inner voice, that inner light. It's like, hey, you may be going through a depression right now. Hey, it may be frustrating that, every time you go for a 20-minute walk or you just do 20 minutes of strength training, you get all these symptoms and you feel tired. But you can still make magic through the storm. You can still make progress through the storm, just like you did before. So it's just like the same thing as last time. I've done this before. Just put on your big girl pants and just, be kind to yourself and get it done. Just take it one small step at a time. You work out one day and you can't work out the next, that's okay. You're still making improvement and your brain will heal. Like, it will heal. Like, my physiotherapist went through a concussion from a car accident. So her brain has healed eventually. It took time, but 6 months, things turned around for her. So I'm around the form. It happened in May and it's now, around August. So you just keep going, just keep finding that fight. And hopefully I can inspire other people who are going through dark times, because heck, the world is harsh right now. It is tough right now. If I can just be that light, just to help people shift their mindset around their situation. Like, we all have tough situations in our lives, but we have a choice to either let it defeat us or let it make us. We have to, choose the best thing for ourselves, and that is to fight for ourselves. That's the true definition of self-love right there, is to just, turn this dirt into lemonade, turn your pain into power. Just, I have to do it. I have, not just for me, but for everyone I've come across through online. And of course, my son, to show him that, hey, you may fall. Doesn't mean you have to stay there. It's your choice to stay there. It's not your choice to get knocked down, because life is always going to knock us down. Yeah. But it is your choice to move back up and take it a day at a time, get the help you need, and power through. You got this.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. This is exactly what you just did. You just got me all inspired and motivated all over again. And I think that's what you're going to do for everybody who watches this. And so let me just take a minute here, Daniella. I say this during, the most inspiring moments in these interviews. Just everybody, just take a minute here. I promise we're not going anywhere. Pause this video, get over to Daniella's YouTube channel and get yourself subscribed, because this is the kind of thing that she delivers regularly, and it's just an absolute joy. It's a pleasure to watch her. So get there and get that done, and then just hit play again. So I assume you're back at this point, everybody. So with that said, Daniella, you brought up the fact that amongst all the people that you do this to prove that you can get back up, that you can continue to fight and continue to get stronger, you did mention that your YouTube audience was amongst that crowd that you do it for, that you help to try to motivate. What got you started with YouTube in the first place? What made you decide that you wanted to go there?
That's a funny story. I didn't really want to go there. I kind of got pressured into going there.
Okay.
I was posting on Instagram my weight loss story. I was doing it in my weight loss journey. I've been doing it on Instagram, my journey through, my Instagram self-love fit. It's just about loving yourself into losing weight. And it's just not about weight loss. It manifests in some other areas of your life. And everyone's like, oh, you should do YouTube. I'm like, YouTube, that's the dark side. YouTube, that's scary. And then I just kept getting more and more messages. So I'm like, okay, I'll do YouTube, why not? Like, I enjoyed, like, at the time I was editing videos on Instagram before there were reels and all that, where people were posting pictures. I kind of miss those days of pictures posting. Now it's reels all the time. But I used to post like longer workout videos, and I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed cutting it. So I was like, let's use these skills and put it into YouTube. So that's what I did. I started my channel really to inspire other people, to reach anyone who had, are going through similar circumstances that I went through with an injury, or people who are just struggling with their mental health and going through a rough time, to show them that there is light. There is light. Yeah, it may not feel like it, you may not see it, but you can create that light in the darkness. And I just wanted to find a way to make the world a better place and just be better, do better, because there's just so much negativity in this world. There's so much negativity within ourselves. Like, we all struggle, we all go through our ups and downs. And if I can just remind people while reminding myself, like when I do my videos, I'm always reminding myself of this too, to just find a way to just, you know, be better and do better and become and create magic. Just create magic. That's, you know, if we're not here to do that on life in our lives, what are we here for? We got to do something.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
I want to leave my mark by helping other people.
That's awesome. It's like it's the perfect. It's exactly the kind of motivation that should be pushing everybody, not just on YouTube, but anywhere. I mean, that's supposed to be the goal. Make this place better for everybody. That's what life is supposed to be. So let me just thank you for doing your part, because you do it so well.
Oh, thank you. I try.
Well, you succeed. You succeed, and you succeed. So, Daniella, I want to lighten things up a little bit here. I want to play a little bit of a game here with you called This or That. We call it This or That. And basically, I'm just going to ask you to pick one of two options, and you don't need to justify your answers. But if you feel that urge, please do jump in. But otherwise, we'll just roll through them real quick here, okay?
Sure.
Cool. So here's the first one. Cardio or weights?
Oh my goodness. Right now, cardio, because I can't do cardio and I'm craving cardio. Gotcha. So right now it's cardio. It actually rotates, but right now I want to do cardio. I want to run.
All right, I'm with you. I'm with you. All right. So let me ask you this one. Running or walking?
Running. That's an easy one. Running.
Okay. How about this? Speed or distance?
Ooh, distance, because it's harder and it's more rewarding.
Cool, cool. All right. Carbs or proteins?
Protein.
Okay. And last one, sweet or savory?
I'm a savory person. I like fries. Is that savory?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like just junk food. Sweet, not all the time. More just like good food.
Cool. Cool. Awesome. So let me ask you this. Just to switch directions a little bit here, but to keep it light, is there anything that you'd like to share that your viewers might not already know about you?
Anything that I would like to share that I don't know. I share a lot. I don't. Oh, I'm a goofball. I'm a complete goofball. I'm a weirdo. But people know that. But it gets really weird. Like the things I do with my dog. Like I'm talking to my dog, talking about all sorts of stuff with my dog. I'm rolling on the floor with my dog. I'm walking on all four legs with my dog, and she's like looking at me like I'm nuts. I'm like, I'm trying to keep you company because I know you're a dog's dog. So yeah, I'm just a weirdo.
Oh, that's awesome. That just means you're a free spirit and you're willing to have fun. That's great.
I'm a child, yeah.
That's so cool. Well, so let me ask you this. And I know this is kind of like, this can run really deep, but you don't have to answer it deep. It could be whatever you want it to be. But how has physical fitness changed your life for the better?
Ooh, it's helped me manage my mental health better.
Cool.
It has, like, just releasing all of that tension. It's just like emotional release. And it's like, oh, I feel great. Really, it's for my mental health. Obviously, I'm on a weight loss journey too, but I still work out despite what's going on. I'm never going to stop. It's hard to stop. You know, even through this concussion, I was working out when I was supposed to, and I was getting yelled at by my physiotherapist to slow it down. I'm like, you guys are going to have a tough time trying to get me to slow. But yeah, I just love it.
Yeah, I love it that this is, people are going to think I'm a broken record here, but this is what I love so much about you. There are things that I try to communicate, like in my other videos and stuff, and I'll talk about, on so many different occasions, I've tried to express the connection, the mind-body connection, and how one is so much more integrated. Like your mood, your ability to think well is all tied into your ability to be physically active and to be physically fit. And it's one of those things that's, it took me, I didn't really give that much credit for 40 years of my life. And it's
Yeah.
only once I started running seriously that I started to realize that I'm not just helping my physical fitness, it's actually helping what goes on between my ears. And you just expressed it so well and so simply. It's like, yeah, it's like, do people listen to me for a half hour or do they listen to you for 30 seconds and you say it better?
Stop it. Stop it.
But yeah, well
You're too
said.
funny.
So yeah, I love your answer. I want to ask you to share a favorite piece of advice. It doesn't have to be like the deepest, most amazing thing, but a favorite piece of advice that you have for anybody out there who's trying to regain control of their health.
Sure. No matter what, you can always start again. You know, let go of the past. Don't hold on to the mistakes. Don't hold on to all of that. Just view them as stepping stones. But know that if you screw up one day, restart. Keep trying until it sticks. Too many people give up. They start to like, you know, maybe it's like New Year's Day or the first of the month. I'm going to stick to this. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm just going to go all in. They do it for a couple days and then they give up. Do not give up. You can learn from failure. You really can. And apply what you learn. And as long as you have that mindset, you will come through. It may take years. It doesn't matter. You know, it took you years to get to where you are today. It's not going to take a month or two to change that. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Just keep getting up. Just keep getting up.
You have to. You have to.
Exactly. Exactly. Daniella, I just want to remind everybody that Daniella and I share time once a month doing a Fitness Friends live stream along with Kirsten QuickFit. And then we have sort of a rotating sort of fourth position where we call different people in from across the internet to join us and to talk about different subjects, but it's always something to do with physical fitness. And I invite you to keep your eyes open for those, because every time Daniella speaks, it's just, I just sit there in awe of her wisdom. So not only there, you can't just get her there, you can also get her on other social media platforms. And Daniella, I want to give you the opportunity to tell everybody where you can be found.
Sure, I can be found on YouTube as Daniella Joy, or just type in Daniella Joy Fitness. My channel, I haven't posted a video in 2 months, but as I was talking to Paul earlier, I'm going to be stock footaging a lot of content. I'm going to be editing a whole bunch, have a bunch of videos upload and slowly trigger them out. And it's going to be content about like this, because my first video is going to be called Restarting in Mind, Body, and Spirit. So that's going to be an interesting one. The connection of all three.
I can't
wait. Thank you. Yeah, I'm working on that one now. And you can also find me on Instagram as Self Love Fit. I post Instagram stories that are motivational. Just, you know, every morning I listen to something motivational and I share what I learn on my Instagram stories. I also post on Instagram, and I also have TikTok, but that's a different side of me. It's also called Self Love Fit on TikTok. I do exercise stuff, but I do rant about the weather in Calgary, and I have to do a rant about the summer and how no one believes in air conditioning in Calgary, because I don't get it. It's 31 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
It's hot. Yeah. Why is there no AC? But that's a different story. So yeah, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok as Self Love Fit. It's self.love.fit. And YouTube as Daniella Joy.
Cool. Well, I'm going to make it easy on everybody. Just take a look in the show notes below, everybody. The links are there so you can get directly in. So Daniella, again, let me thank you for doing this, because I knew this was going to be a good conversation, but you took it to levels so far beyond. And it's just always a joy to talk to you. So, you know, thank you for doing this tonight. And let me say that I'm really, really looking forward to all the new content that you're going to be posting on YouTube and on Instagram. So again, thank you. And I hope you have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you. It's an honor to befriend you and just to get to know you, Paul. You are just phenomenal. Your story about running inspires me. And I just love everything you do, and your passion for running and fitness. It's just, we need more people like that in the world. Like, we need more people moving their bodies.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
It's so important.
Exactly. So again, thank you, Daniella. You always say it better than me, But yeah, everybody get over to her channel, and let's just call this. It's a mutual appreciation society, obviously, but let's call it for the evening. So everybody, good night. Have a good one.